is already 7th of October, and the year is 2023. That means we are only 2 days away to celebrate the independence of our country, that's Uganda. But that's not the point of discussion. The point of discussion is all about sports. Remember, the ongoing University League match day week 4 is actually concluding tomorrow, and Muni University, they played their game on Thursday, and yesterday there was a game, and today equal we shall also be having a game, and match day 4 of the ongoing University League, as I said, will be concluding tomorrow. That means starting from Monday next week, we'll be getting into match day 5 of the ongoing University League we have in here in the country. Not only that one, remember match day 3 of the Star Times Uganda, not Star Times Uganda Premier League, rather the Star Times FUFA Big League still continues, and we had one game on Thursday. It was between Police FC and Ndege University, and that was so far the only game played in match day 3 of Star Times FUFA Big League. That means the games will be bouncing back tomorrow, Monday, and also on Tuesday, and also the postponed game between Express and the team of Ketse. This game actually was supposed to be played the other week, and it was postponed, always moved ahead, because by then Kesse had an engagement in continental football that was in the second tier of continental football. I am talking about the CAF Confederations Cup. Because of that, the game of course was postponed, and this game officially has already been rescheduled to take place tomorrow, and the game is actually taking place at Philip Omondi Stadium, the on-ground for the team of KCCA. Will be doing analysis about that, and I am still giving the highlights of what we are going to discuss. And the biggest of it here in Africa is all about the draws of the group stages in the CAF Champions League. Officially, it has been done, where Mamelodi Sundowns has been pitted. You talk about Zamalek, there is a team called Pyramids that comes from Egypt, the record champions Al Ahly. You talk about Wydad Casablanca, Esperance, Al Hilal that comes from South Sudan. We also have young Africans, as you can call them, younger, that comes from our neighboring country, that's Tanzania. We will be talking about the group stages of the CAF Champions League. Equally, the group stages of the CAF Confederations Cup is also out, and we are going to finalize everything with what is going to transpire over the weekend. The weekend started yesterday. We had games that took place in different top 5 leagues we have in Europe, and the games are bouncing back. Today we are having so many games to be played in English Premier League. Manchester United, Chelsea, they are playing today. Arsenal, they are playing tomorrow. And also in Italian Serie A, games are also bouncing back. You talk about French League 1, PSG, of course, they also having a game in German Bundesliga, games also there in Spanish Primera Division. We also having so many games, and as usual, we shall finalize everything with what is coming from the other parts of the world as far as sports concerned. But let's start the discussion within the region, and this time we are starting with a tournament called the Independence Cup, or as Independence Tournament. You can call it Uhuru Tournament. Red District, as I talk right now, they have a tournament called Independence Cup, and the tournament has already reached to the semi-finals, and the first semi-final actually it has already started. It started exactly at 2 p.m. a game between actually Ajono and Ringli. That means so far 7 minutes already played. If they are to follow time, 7 minutes already gone in the semi-final game between Ringli and Ajono. And then at 4 p.m, if we are to follow time, there will also be a game between Aya and the team that's Vura United. Remember, these two clubs, of course, they are playing in the 4th Division League in the DFA of Vura District, whereas Arua District. So the biggest semi-final, of course, will be kickstarting at 4 p.m. I want to repeat it again. A team called Aya, actually, they will be tussling it out with the team called as Vura United. So the finals, of course, will be taking place on the 9th. The very day as the country will be celebrating the independence, whether it will be a final between Vura and Ringli, or as we never know, we may see Ajono up against the Aya. So we are following the story, and after here I am heading to Arua District to follow the game between Vura United and the team that's Aya. And also ladies, they also playing. We are having ladies clubs that have also registered for the tournament. And after here, I'm going to follow everything. And on Monday, will be in person to bring for you, which teams of course have sealed the qualification to the finals, both the ladies and also the boys team. Leaving that one there, also we are shifting our attention to what is transpiring in University League. Actually, Mazia was given the highlights of the discussion. Match day 4 of the ongoing University League in the country is actually concluding tomorrow with one game to be played tomorrow. That means match day 5 will officially kickstart on match day 5 will officially kickstart on Monday. So our university, normally when we discuss about the ongoing University League, most of the West Nilers, their mind will go to how, in fact their mind will all be about how Muni University is performing. And we have actually been repeating this one. This season they have at least improved that Muni University for you. They are in the same group with universities like Chambugo, Makerere University, you talk about Ndeje, and in each group we have 4 universities, and so far Muni University, they have played 2 games and they picking 1 defeat and also playing a draw in the other game. The first game they played, it was actually up against Ndeje, which ended in a barren draw. It was played here at Muni. And then on Thursday, they had to travel away to Chambugo, one of the biggest universities we can say as far as football is concerned, and they were edged narrowly by a goal to nil. So they are waiting for the third fixture to come, whereby they will be sitting at home, and this time they will be taking on the university, that's Makerere University, and games are still continuing. Remember, in each group, as I said, we have 4 universities, and these games, of course, they are played on home and away basis, and the teams that will end up performing very well will seal the qualification to the knockout stages. And leaving that one there, we need to cross over to match day 3 of the Star Times FUFA Big League. I did tell you on Thursday, actual match day 3 started on Thursday with 1 game on the card. It was a game between Police FC playing in Ndeje University. We talked lengthy, we gave a lengthy analysis about the game yesterday. I was here with Owen Ezaga, one of us. So it was Police that beat Ndeje. And that means out of the 3 games Ndeje University so far they have played, they have not won any game. They have picked defeats in all those games, and so they are swallowing goals for fun, and they are actually the rock bottom team as far as the new season is concerned. Meanwhile, for Police FC, they still maintain their 100% start to the season. 3 games so far played, winning all of them. So that means they have started the season on a high note. That's what I can tell you as far as the highlight of the game that was played on Thursday between Police FC and Ndeje University is concerned. The Police actually, they were at the Kavumbaru Recreational Center at home as they beat the team that's in Ndeje University. And equally, we're also having games to be played tomorrow. Tomorrow we're having games to be played, and on Monday we're having 1 game to be played. And the match day 3 will finalize on Tuesday with also 1 game to be played. But tomorrow we are having games as on the Paraka Football Club. This time their 2nd consecutive game to be played at Ababet Greenlight Stadium at home, and this time they will not be taking on Chetumi again. They will be turning the focus to another different team, a team that comes from the eastern part of the country. The team is based in Mbale City. The team is actually called Kataka. And also still in West Nile, we are having a team that comes from Yumbe, also representing the region in the 2nd tier of Ugandan football. I am actually talking about Calvary FC. They will also be sitting at home at Midigo Primary Playground, taking on the team Dasi Lugazi. Briefly giving something about these 2 games. If you take a look at the last 2 games on the Parakas played, the first one they lost it narrowly into the hands of Dasi Blacks Power. It ended by a goal to nil. And in the 2nd game, they were able to humble Das Chetume by 3 goals to 1. Meanwhile, for Kataka, their opponent they are facing tomorrow. The first game, it was a derby. It was Mbale City Derby, which was played at Mbale Municipal Center. It ended in a draw. It was a game between Kataka and Mbale Heroes. Meanwhile, the 2nd game they played, that's I'm still speaking about Kataka, they were able to beat Dasi Blacks Power by 2 goals to 1. Now, based on the statistics I've just given, that means Mbale, not Mbale, rather Kataka, of course, they are having 4 points to their names. They are still unbeaten out of the 2 games they have played. That means they are having 4 points, and they are sitting ahead of the Caterpillars, the team they are visiting tomorrow. Now, if you take a look at the record Kataka is having against the West Nile-based sides, they have actually been having a very good record, and they have been picking wins when it comes to playing against the West Nile-based sides. Meanwhile, for Onduparaka Football Club, I've been repeating this one. They are fresh from the top tier of Ugandan football, and so many eyes, of course, have been fixed on them, particularly whether they can be able to earn the promotion back to where they are supposed to be, where they belong. And in the first game they played, it was not against a mere team, against an average team. They actually played against the team. They earned the relegation together with us, Blacks Power. So they had to console themselves, console the supporters of the team, the fans, the whole team with a win against Chetume. It was not even a mere win, but also a convincing win up against Chetume, because Chetume is also one of the biggest sides, I should say, in the country, because it's they have also played in the StarTimes Uganda Premier League before they were relegated. That means the two sides, they are heading for the game, having picked wins in their previous games they have played. Kataka, I want to repeat it again, edging Blacks Power, meanwhile Onduparaka winning against Chetume. Now the question is how Onduparaka, of course, is going to drop the team, more especially the attacking force. We have seen of late Onduparaka signing so many attackers over the just concluded summer transfer window in the country. They went on to sign a certain Faisal from the team of Express and their coach, and he has decided to call him a player coach, because if the worst comes to worst, we have ever seen him straightening himself and entering into the pit. And also against Chetume, he scored one of the goals, actually the security goal, the last goal, he scored it against the team of Chetume. And there is a certain Andama Jr. I always love calling him the specialist for the penalty. And we have ever seen this guy, when it comes to a set piece like a penalty, this guy doesn't take it out. Even for West Nile province in the ongoing FUFA drum, this guy has always been converting the ball into the back of the net when it comes to a penalty. And also in the games he has been playing for the country, he has been playing for the team of Onduparaka, not for the country. He has also been a master for that penalty. So Andama Jr., this guy is also another good attacker for the team of Onduparaka. Is he going to play the game tomorrow is actually what I've been thinking. How they are going to drop the attacking force, the three amigos, is what is beating my understanding. But what I can say is they are having so many attacking players. The only thing they should do is, the attackers should do is, they should understand themselves such that you will always see the ball flourishing into the back of the net. Meanwhile, for Calvary, they had a press conference. The press conference was actually on Thursday, and they are very sure, hopeful that this season they may they are going to earn the promotion to StarTimes Uganda Premier League. It's their third consecutive season to play in FUFA Big League. The last 2 seasons, actually, they have been maintaining themselves in the league. This season, they are very sure that they are going to make it to StarTimes Uganda Premier League. Are they going to make it is what I cannot say much about it. But if you take a look at how they have been performing, actually the last 2 games they have played, winning both of them up against Tigez Homeboys, the open fixer. The recent one was actually against Young Elephant, another newly promoted side. And up next tomorrow is a game up against Lugazi. After Lugazi, they will have a trip away to Dasi, Karunzi. These are the fixtures coming ahead of the team. That's Calvary. Let's leave StarTimes FUFA Big League. We are still within the country. Let's talk about another sporting another event, and it's still the same sporting activity. We are still discussing football. Actually, we are turning our focus to the top tier of Ugandan football, the StarTimes Uganda Premier League. Match day 4 of StarTimes Uganda Premier League will return on 19th of this particular month. Still, the postponed game between Express and the team of KCA, the fixture official has been rescheduled to take place tomorrow. Tomorrow is already 8th of October, and the year still remains 2023. This game was supposed to be played in match day 1 of the new season of StarTimes Uganda Premier League. As I said, because KCA by then they had engagement in the continental football. Remember that time they had a game up against Absalim, a team that comes from Libya in CAF Confederations Cup. That game, of course, was postponed as pushed ahead, and FUFA thought it wise that the game, of course, has to be played tomorrow. That means it's going to be the first Kampala derby for in the ongoing season of the StarTimes Uganda Premier League. This game is not going to be at Wankulukulu, the ground of Express. Express, of course, they will have to take their bus jet away to that Philip Omondi Stadium to take on the team that's KCCA. Taking a look at how the two sides actually they have been performing for the team of KCCA, they have so far played 2 games and they have not won any, not even scoring any goal into the. In fact, they have not won any, but at least they have scored 1. The recent game they played was up against the team of Maroons, which they won, which actually they lost by 2-1. And also, they actually lost by 3-1. Before that, they had a game. In the second game, they were against actual Bull, and they were aced by Bull by 1-0. And if you take a look at the table standing right now, they're in the relegation zone together with the teams like Arua Hill Sports Club. Meanwhile, for the team of Express, the first game they played up against Mbara City, which ended in a barren draw, a 0-0 draw, is a goalless draw. Then the second game they played, they were able to beat the team of Busoga by 2-0. That means in total, both sides they have played 2 games in the new season of the StarTimes Uganda Premier League. So Express up against KCCA. Recently, KCCA, of course, they have been having upper hand when it comes to playing against Wankulukulu based side. So they have actually not been having a good run of form. And if you take a look at their performance in all the competitions in the new season, 2 games played in CAF Confederations Cup, winning 1, picking 1 defeat, and 2 games played in StarTimes Uganda Premier League, losing both of them. That means in total 4 games played for KCCA, winning only 1, and the 3 have been defeats. They are yet to draw a game. And for Express, 2 games played, still unbeaten, winning 1 and playing a draw. How it will go is actually what people will be expecting. And KCCA being a big side, one of the giants of late, I know most of the people are rallying behind the team of KCCA, and also odds are favoring KCCA. But anything can happen in football. Express is also one of the biggest sides, we should say, in Ugandan football. Though of late, the performances, of course, have been favoring teams like Sports Club Villa. You talk about Vipers, Maroons of late, they are proving to be very stubborn, and Bull FC. But Express, we should not rule them completely out of the game. And it's a derby. A derby is always full of tension. Anything can happen, and I want to be surprised if Express will put something against the team of KCCA. But KCCA this time, the KCCA of this time is not the KCCA we used to know in the past few seasons. And actually, this is now the 4th season. They have not won the Uganda Premier League. They have not won the Uganda Premier League title. And if you take a look at some of the key players that actually have been playing for the club recently, they have parted ways with so many players, right from the goalkeeping department up to the attacking force. So many of them, they have left, and key names that have left the club, more especially in the attacking forces, of course, Alan Okello, who spent last season on loan at the club, and you talk about Rogers Mato, who had been the best player, in fact, who was the best player for the club last season. This player also left them, and this season the burden has been left on the shoulders of Das Muhammad Saban, and he's trying at least the last few games he has played for the club, at least to get into the score sheet, registering his name in the CAF Confederations Cup, scoring also a goal, and also recently, though they lost to Das Maroons, he also scored the consolation goal for the team of KCCA. But the question is also an injury boy, is also injury prone, always doctor's boy, always on the bed, nursing injuries. Can he be able to do it up to the end of the season? And one player cannot do everything to see that the team wins the title, or else the team finishes in a better position. That's what I can tell you about the update of the game between KCCA and the team of Express. Let's leave that one there. Let's also talk about another sporting activity. We are looking at Ludo. You know, Ludo is also another sporting activity for some of you who may not know. And why am I talking about Ludo at this particular moment? It's actually a very good news, breaking news, good news for Ugandans, as in the whole of Africa, I should say we are #1. Why are we actually number one? Because we have actually won Ludo African Cup of Nations, not the Football African Cup of Nations, but it is called Ludo African Cup of Nations. Before actually we won it, remember we are battling to defend the title, because in 2021 we also won it, and it has been taking place within Africa and in South Africa. Actually, Uganda did beat South Africa in the penalty shootout after they had played a tie in the normal time. They entered into the final with the country, that's South Africa, the host, but at the end, we, the Ugandans, we emerged as the victorious side. Despite, remember, Uganda going for the tournament in South Africa, they never received any fund from government, so government did not give them any money to support the tournament, but they have done it very well, so winning, they emerging as the top team, top country in the whole of Africa, and at the same time not only winning it and also defending the title. I think it's a good one. We can smile for this one. That means the last two editions, Uganda, of course, they have been winning it. I still want to repeat it again. In 2021, they won it, and this time they have defended it very well, winning it in South Africa and also against the country, that's South Africa. By the way, unlike in football, which have been always singing it almost in every show, but you take a look at the other sporting activities, I don't know if people are paying much attention to follow the other sporting activities. You talk about T20. T20 is actually cricket. Uganda is doing very well in them. And recently, also last week, we saw Uganda winning Street Child Cricket World Cup that was hosted in India. So Uganda, just in a space of less than 1 month, I should say Uganda has won two great titles, winning the Street Child World Cup, that is from cricket, that was hosted by India. Then at the same time, just after a week, winning the African Ludo Nations Championship is also a good one. And also in athletics, we're also doing very well. You talk about the likes of Kiplananga, you talk about the likes of Jacob Kiplimo, Joshua Cheptegei of this world. In athletics, we're also doing very well. Cricket, I've talked about it, we are doing very well. Ludo, we are doing very well. You talk about basketball, we are doing very well. You talk about Opangi. When we talk about Opangi, know that we are talking about boxing. We're also trying, and in rugby, we're also doing very well. Netball, we're also doing very well. So this one is pressurizing football. That means football, of course, they will have to also know that they should start performing very well, both the ladies and also the men's. Uganda Cranes, you talk about Crested Cranes, so the task is all upon them to see that they start performing very well. Remember, this is an update to you of the script. Uganda on Thursday, it will be on 13th, they will be having a game up against Mali. This is a build-up match, not a competitive game, just a friendly. After Mali, they will be also playing a game up against Zambia. According to the report, the game between Uganda and Zambia will be played in United Arab Emirates, outside the country, that side of Asia. So we are following the story. Remember, the biggest task coming on Uganda is all about World Cup qualifiers. 2026 World Cup qualifiers is actually the biggest task coming on the Ugandans, and they have come up saying that FIFA, of course, this is how they have drafted the lineup. They have said actually before we play any game in 2026 World Cup qualifiers, that is kick-starting in November, Uganda, of course, will need to play two big friendlies, and I've already mentioned the countries Uganda, of course, will play in the friendlies. Mali is one of them, which is coming very soon. Then after that, Uganda, of course, will be having a game up against Zambia. Let's leave that one there, and we shift our attention to what is happening continentally. And normally we say we begin with the stories that are happening within the region. We take a look at the national stories. If there are stories that are coming, that are breaking continentally, we always don't leave them out. And today we have the biggest story, I should say, today in sports. It's all about the draws of the UEFA, not UEFA rather, the CAF Champions League. CAF Champions League in Africa is like having UEFA Champions League in Europe. You talk about the Copa Libertadores. Copa Libertadores is actually the biggest league we have in South America. Yesterday we talked about it. It has already reached into the finals, whereby you will be expecting a final between Fluminense, a team that comes from Brazil, up against the team that's Boca Juniors. So their Europa is called the Copa Sudamericana, that's in South America. Meanwhile, so the producer has already displayed, the producer is already doing a work to see that he displays the group stages on the screen. So in Group A, we have in Mamelodi Sundowns, that comes from South Africa. They are the champions of 2016 CAF Champions League. We have got Pyramids. Pyramids is actually one of the biggest clubs we have in Egyptian Premier League. So they are together with the clubs like Zamalek. You talk about NPP, you talk about Project, and not forgetting about Al Ahly. And we also have in TP Mazembe. TP Mazembe is just a club that comes from our neighboring country, DRC, Democratic Republic du Congo. TP Mazembe, they have already won the title 5 times. That's TP Mazembe for you. Not forgetting about FC Nouadhibou. FC Nouadhibou is a team that comes from Mauritania. So these are the teams that have been pitted in Group A, and which teams, of course, will be sealing the qualification to the round of 16 is what we are looking at. And in Group D, we have got Wydad Casablanca, OSAC. Wydad Casablanca is a team that comes from Morocco. Actually, they are the champions of 2022. I remember very well they beat the team of Al Ahly of Egypt in the finals of 2022. They are in Group B, pitted alongside Simba Sports Club. Simba Sports Club is actually a team that comes from Tanzania here. Actually, last season they were in the same group with our own club that comes from Uganda, that's Vipers. I remember very well they had Wydad Casablanca. There was a team, there was another team, so they are just our neighbors here. So you also have got ASEC Mossas. ASEC Mossas is actually a team that comes from Cote d'Ivoire, from Ivory Coast. And lastly, we have got Jwaneng Galaxy. Jwaneng Galaxy is actually a team that comes from Botswana, and this is the team that eliminated, of course, Vipers in the preliminary rounds of the CAF Champions League. And in Group C, we have in Esperance Tunis, or as you can call them, Esperance. This is one of the biggest clubs we have in Africa. They are like Barcelona's, Bayern's, Juventus. We have it in Europe. You also have Atletico Petroles, is a team that comes from Angola. They have always been maintaining the consistency in CAF Champions League. And we have got Al Hilal. Al Hilal is a team that comes from Sudan, and they're also doing very well in CAF Champions League. And lastly, we have got ESS. And ESS is, of course, a team that comes from Tunisia. By the way, I don't know the criteria CAF always uses to to come up with the draws of the group stages, because we have seen 2 teams being pitted in the same group from Tunisia. So we don't know the criteria. And in Group D, we have in Al Ahly, the masters of CAF Champions League. They have won the competition more than any other team in Africa. They are like Real Madrid of Europe. So this is actually the twin brother of Real Madrid in Spain. I'm talking about Al Ahly that comes from Egypt, and they are the defending champions. Actually, we have got Sierra Belouizdad. Sierra Belouizdad is a team that comes from Algeria. They're together with MC Alger. MC Alger, last season for them, they won the CAF Confederations Cup. I remember they won it against that's Young Africans, and they have been pitted together with the Young Africans. Last season, Young Africans, of course, they played in the CAF Confederations Cup, the second tier in this league. This year, they have said, no, we don't want to go back. We don't want to repeat ourselves in the same league. This time, they have gone on to play into the group stages of the CAF Champions League. And the last team we have in Group D is, of course, Midiyema Sports Club. Midiyema Sports Club is actually a team that comes from Ghana. Just in summary, before we go for the first half break, remember we have in 4 groups from A up to D, and out of all these groups, the top team will proceed to the quarterfinals, and the teams that are going to finish in the last 2 slots, of course, will have to come back and play in the domestic league. So with that, we have come to the end of the first half of the